Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Before narrating and explaining this Bhagavad Gita, I shall begin by reciting some prayers which were sung by Bhishma Dev, one of the figures of the Mahabharata, which he offered at the end of the Battle of Kurukshetra, as he was lying on the bed of arrows and giving up his air of life before the beautiful form of Krishna. And the selections that I read deal specifically with the Battle of Kurukshetra and the Bhagavad Gita. Bhishma Dev said, Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the tamal tree. His transcendental body tracks everyone within the 3 planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. And may his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face, covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp, be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results. On the battlefield, where Sri Krishna attended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, and because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna. In obedience to the command of his friend, Lord Sri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana, and while there, he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy. Let my mind be fixed upon that Lord Sri Krishna. And when Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance, upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge in the form of Bhagavad Gita. May Lord Sri Krishna's lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction. Fulfilling my desire and sacrificing his own promise, the Lord got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garment on the way. And may that Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who awards salvation, be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered, and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds. And at the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon him, who is the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left. He was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means, and those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. Jai Shri Krishna. The following is the Gita Mahatmyam, or glorification of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all miseries and anxieties of life. One will be freed from all fears, and the next life will be spiritual. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of one's past deeds will not act upon one. One may cleanse him or herself daily by taking bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of the Bhagavad Gita, then the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. And because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But that is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice, because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Lord Sri Krishna. One who drinks the water of the Ganga attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the great work Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, who is the original Vishnu. This Gita-upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all the Upanishads. It is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. Let there be one God for the whole world, Lord Sri Krishna. Let there be one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Tat Sat. For the final installment of this introductory section, Srila Prabhupada has composed a nice essay entitled, What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmyam, or glorification of the Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly, with the help of a person who is a devotee of Sri Krishna, and then try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teachings are understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretation, then he or she surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. One will find in Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gita. It is the perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, Lord Sri Krishna. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay, as described in the Mahabharata, form the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when He was present personally on this planet 5,000 years ago, just for the guidance of mankind. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 1, including 46 verses, is entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. In verses 1 through 6, we will hear an assessment of the Pandavas by Duryodhana. Please listen. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So the scene is that this is a fratricidal war about to take place. Two families, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, are about to engage in a war which will determine who will rule the earth. The Kauravas are headed by Duryodhana, and the Pandavas, headed by Arjuna, are on the other side. Dhritarashtra is blind, his secretary is Sanjaya, and although they are not directly present on the battlefield but are situated some distance away, Sanjaya, by means of mystic television, he has the ability to see in his heart what is going on the battlefield. And this will be revealed later on. It is all due to the grace of his guru, Vyasadeva. So Sanjaya is viewing the actual events by this mystic vision in his heart and is relating everything to his master Dhritarashtra, who is blind. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher, Dronacharya, and spoke the following words. Duryodhana said, O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad, known as Drishtadyumna. So this Drishtadyumna was the son of Dronacharya's enemy. There was a quarrel between Dronacharya and King Drupad, and therefore King Drupad begot a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. And yet, Dronacharya, being a very advanced transcendentalist, a Brahmana, he did not hesitate to instruct this particular son, even though he knew that this son would be the cause of his death. And that's why Duryodhana is speaking in this way to his Dronacharya teacher. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yuyudhan, Virata, and Drupad. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chaitanya, Kashiraj, Purujit, Kuntibhoja, and Shaibya. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. So after giving an assessment of the other side, now Duryodhana, he will give an assessment of his side, the Kurus. But for your information, O best of the Brahmins, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashvatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava. And they are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. Now that's very significant, because although Duryodhana is very confident that he will come out victorious, actually it appears that the goddess of fortune is speaking through his own words, because indeed all of these people will lay down their lives for his sake, himself included, as the outcome of this battle will be that Arjuna and his brothers, headed by Yudhishthira, will come out victorious by the plan and order of Sri Krishna. Duryodhana continues. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. So it is true, Bhishma Dev was the most valiant, most powerful warrior. So Duryodhana's assessment from the materialistic conception or point of view is well ascertained. Now listen. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Duryodhana is quite the politician, because although Bhishma Dev is the greatest warrior on the battlefield, still he is advanced in age. So Duryodhana wants to make sure that all the other warriors give full protection. Sanjaya said, Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. In this next section, verses 14 through 19, we will see how the Pandavas respond by blowing their conch shells. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. So Sanjaya, in reporting to Dhritarashtra, did not say that the conch shells blown by Bhishma and his party, the Kauravas, were transcendental. But he did say that the conch shells blown by Krishna and Arjuna was transcendental. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijay, and Nakul and Sahadev blew the Sughosh and Manipushpaka. The great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikandi, Drishtyajumna, Virat, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupad, the sons of Draupadi, and many others, O king, such as the mighty-armed son of Subhadra, they all blew their respective conch shells. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So this is significant. The shattering of the hearts indicates that the Pandavas, they will come out victorious. There's no mention by Sanjaya that when Bhishma and the Kurus blew their conch shells, that it shattered the hearts of the Pandavas. Therefore, early indications show that Krishna, by his desire, by his will, the Pandavas would come out victorious. Now, in the next section, Arjuna will survey the scene. Keep in mind that this is the first day of the battle. The battle was to last for 18 days. Sanjaya now continues to narrate to Dhritarashtra. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Significant is that Arjuna's chariot has the flag of Hanuman. Krishna previously took the form of Lord Ram, and with the help of Hanuman, Lord Ram defeated the evil Ravan. So now Ram was again present as the form of Krishna, and Hanuman is there on the flag. This is another sign that their side, Arjuna's side, would be victorious. Arjuna said, O Achyuta, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those present here, those who desire to fight, and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, known as Duryodhana. And it's a fact. Duryodhana was offense personified. For so many years and so many incidents, Duryodhana so cunningly, so evilly, did so many things against the Pandavas. Why? Because Duryodhana wanted to be king. But Krishna, he wanted Yudhishthir to be king. And that is why this whole Bhagavad Gita is being spoken. And that's why this whole battle of Kurukshetra is about to take place. Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharat Dhritarashtra, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Now keep in mind, Krishna is God. Yet it is interesting that he has agreed to be the chariot driver of his devotee Arjuna. Krishna promised even before the battle that he would not take part in the battle, he would not pick up a weapon. And so he is simply the chariot driver, and therefore he is glorified by the name Parthasarathi. God sometimes, for the pleasure of his pure devotee, will take a submissive or subordinate role just to please his devotee, and at the same time, the Lord derives pleasure in such activities. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, "Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here." By such a statement, it appears that Krishna can foresee what is about to take place in the mind and heart of Arjuna. There, Arjuna could see, within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and other well-wishers. Now, in this next section, verses 27 through 38, Arjuna will give reasons why he does not want to fight this battle. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke as follows. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling, and my hair is standing on end. My bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Keshava, killer of the Keshi demon. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, friends, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and property and standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O Janardhan, maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for all the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive by killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? After all, sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra. What should we gain? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? O Janardhan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? So it is apparent that Arjuna is beset with divine saintly qualities, and Krishna will confirm this later on in chapter 16. Notice how Arjuna very conscientiously is giving very good moral arguments why he doesn't want to fight this battle. And it's because he has the natural soft-heartedness of compassion, which are symptoms of a great devotee. So Arjuna is known as a Rajarshi. He is a warrior, a statesman, but at the same time, he's on the